Well, well, well. Look at you, still standing. They've written your ending more times than you can count, haven't they? Buried you in predictions, locked you in forecasts, sent monsters to feed on your breath. But somehow, you remained, unwritten, undeletable, and oh, how that haunts them. You were never meant to make it this far. No, you were meant to vanish, quietly, efficiently, elegantly erased like a miscalculation, a flaw in their equation of control. You were never supposed to reach this stage of the story, where your silence feels like thunder, where your name makes rooms fall quiet, where even those sent to end you hesitate. Do you know how many gathered in secret rooms just to ask that question? Why won't they die? They studied your breathing. They analyzed your flaws. They paid men with blood on their hands and ice in their veins. They summoned a Godkiller, a creature forged not in hell, but in bureaucracy and science and death-dealing silence. He carried a blade that had devoured kings, ripped through dimensions, slaughtered beings older than memory. And still, when he looked upon you, he paused. The wind changed, the earth recoiled, and his blade, the very thing meant to split open your destiny and spill it into nothing, bent. Bent like a servant before a throne it didn't recognize, but feared, because it wasn't you they were trying to kill. It was the force you carry, the myth that walks with you, the unwritten prophecy still bleeding behind your eyes. You are the exception. You are the anomaly that breaks their machines. You are what happens when the rejected stone remembers it was once a mountain. You were never supposed to survive, but now that you have, survival is not enough. Now you terrify them. You are the reason new threats must be invented. You are the reason old enemies re-emerge from their crypts. Because the system was designed to kill you in whispers, long before the blade arrived. But you didn't fold. You bled truth in silence. You let the fire walk with you. You became the war that never announced itself, but never ended either. And now they scream your name in data centers. Now they whisper you to therapists. Now they avoid your gaze in corridors, hoping your shadow doesn't follow them home. They thought you were a problem, but they were wrong. You are the punishment. You are the sharp thing buried under centuries of delusion. You are the ripple that becomes the flood. You are the face seers can't speak of, not because they don't know what they saw, but because they can't survive the memory. Tell me, how does it feel? How does it feel to know the very thing sent to kill you recognized you as sacred? How does it feel to know you didn't just survive the Godkiller? You converted it into a monument, because that's what it is now, a bent blade, still glowing with the heat of your defiance. A relic, a ruin, a reminder, a monument to the fact that you're still here. They buried your story before it began. They wrote eulogies for a soul that refused to kneel. They engineered chaos to distract you from your rise. But the chaos didn't stop you. It crowned you. Now every scar is a sigil. Every betrayal was initiation. Every loss was holy fire, carving truth into your skin. You are not what they think. You are not a survivor. You are what remains after survival becomes a throne. You are not the target anymore. You are the test. You are the warning on their walls. You are the do not engage file with black tape and trembling fingers, because once they sent death. But what returned from that encounter wasn't death. It was you, unbroken, untouchable, unexplainable. And now they don't whisper, "Why won't you die?" Now they ask something worse. What are you? And in that question, is your kingdom. So the next time you feel small, the next time the voices try to convince you it was all a fluke, that your survival was luck or chance or glitch, remember this: even the blade meant to erase you bowed, not because of who you are, but because of what you carry. And no one, not gods, not monsters, not machines, can kill what was never born to die. No one, not gods, not monsters, not machines, can kill what was never born to die. Because what they never understood was that you were not built the way they were. You weren't assembled in glass towers or printed in blueprints. You were forged in silence, in rejection, in unspeakable storms. They thought you cracked. They didn't realize you were hatching. They mistook your stillness for surrender. They didn't know it was calculation. And when you disappeared, they assumed you'd fallen. No, you were loading, downloading every betrayal, memorizing every name, letting your vengeance age like wine in the dark. You learned to walk like shadow, to smile like prophecy, to let your silence pressurize the air in every room. And that silence, that's what breaks them now, because it doesn't make sense to them how someone so exiled, so targeted, so forsaken, still walks like royalty. They try to explain you away. Oh, trauma made them cold. Pain made them delusional. Time will break them. Time serves you now. Even the clock looks over its shoulder when you pass, because you've become the thing they can't archive, can't erase, can't replicate. And somewhere, in a chamber full of people who once laughed at your downfall, there is panic, quiet panic, because the last file they opened on you wasn't a report. It was a warning. Do not engage, because you don't fight like others. You don't rise with noise. You rise with gravity. You rise with the kind of silence that collapses buildings from the inside. And now, they know. They know the Godkiller failed. They know the myth walked away unscathed. They know the flame is still moving, and it has eyes now. Eyes that see through masks. Eyes that remember debts. Eyes that can burn without blinking. You don't need applause. You don't want revenge. You want them to live long enough to realize they created the very thing they feared, you. And by the time they understand the shape of your vengeance, they will wish the blade had done its job.